Aztecs trying to match their second-best start in the Division I era at 12-2. The defense has them halfway there. And as we look at the first half stats, look at that, 32% for the Roadrunners from the field. They're 316th in Division I basketball in shooting the rock.
Yeah, well, you got to credit San Diego State's defense. I mean, they're doing a great job, and that's something Steve Fisher talked about at halftime. And Chase Tapley doing a great job on Maynard, not letting him get any easy looks. You watch him trail that screen. He's working hard on the defensive end, and that's key for your leader out there to work on the defensive end of the ball.
San Diego State closed the first half on a 9-0 run. They start the second half up 17, and a turnover right out of the gate by the Roadrunners.
Well, it's funny. I mean, if you look at the score, they gave up 20 points at the half, and the focus in the San Diego State locker room was defense. So it shows that that's where they feel like they're going to get a lot of their offense. They're going to get easy buckets from their defense, and that's how they're going to put this game away.
Bakersfield had 5 first-half turnovers, which is a low number, but San Diego State made him pay with 10 points off of those 5 turnovers. So the Aztecs possessing the basketball for the first time here in the second half. Up 17. Stevens puts it on the floor around Young. Too hard off the glass, but he got it back. A little too hard again. Carter comes away with it. Carter had a miserable first half. Just 1 of 5 from the floor. Maynard wasn't much better at 1 of 6.
Well, it just shows that they're executing. San Diego State's executing on their game plan. They're executing on their scouting report. They're not going to let Carter go to the basket. They're not going to let Maynard get open threes. I mean, you stick to that game plan, and it's going to be hard to beat them.
White moves left and tries to bounce it left of the lane to Young. And it was knocked out of bounds by San Diego State. A quick substitution now. Britton Williams, who was a walk-on, a freshman from Liberty High School in Bakersfield, comes in quickly. And what a quick hook there of White.
Well, I think you need a change of pace. You need a change of tempo, a change of pace. You got to be able to make something happen. And I think that's going to start with at least finding a way to get inside that lane, inside that paint.
Maynard now 1 for 7 after missing that field goal opportunity. Aztecs push it. It's in the hands of Jamal Franklin. Franklin, a terrific first half. 11 points for Jamal, 8 rebounds and 4 assists in 16 minutes on the floor. Tapley to Franklin. He lost the handle on it. Here's Carter. They have numbers back the other way at 3-on-1. Carter nearly had it blocked by Franklin. I don't think he got a piece of it. But it was last touched by the Roadrunners, and San Diego State's going to have it.
Well, it's just a good effort on a broken play to get back and make the block. I mean, very LeBron James-esque, trailing the play. I don't even know if he blocked it.
He might have got a finger on it. Yeah, maybe.
That's one of those ones where, I mean, I think you go up looking for the contact. You forget about finishing the actual basket. And Carter's one of those guys. He gets to the foul line a lot, looks for the contact. He didn't get it there and misses the layup.
2 minutes in, neither team has scored. Franklin against Carter, drives left of the lane, short. Maynard will slow it up. Down on the low post, it goes to Hall, and Hall with a nice move over to Sean Stevens, the senior. Corey Hall, a 6'7" junior forward out of Chicago, Illinois.
When you look at both these teams, not a lot of size on either team, but size down low doesn't matter when you have position. And down there is a great move in terms of his positioning on offense.
Shepard drove in, and the freshman drew a foul. That's going against Corey Hall, who just picked up his 9th point. He averages 2.1 points per game.
Really impressed with Shepard's game. If he is able to develop a mid-range game, a pull-up jumper, he could really be unstoppable with his length, his athleticism, and his ability to pass, create for others. I mean, he could really be unstoppable in the Mountain West. And to have somebody that can take the pressure off of Chase Tapley. Take the pressure off, let him run off the screens, let him get easy looks, because it's easy if you have a guy that can drive and kick. When you have someone chasing Chase Tapley, it's easy for him to get open buckets.
Highest recruit they've ever signed here at San Diego State at a Finlay Prep. Made 1 of 2. The lead is 16 at 38-22. Hall puts it on the floor. Back out it goes to Adam Young, and Young launches in and out. Here's Franklin driving, and Franklin scores the bucket. But back the other way, Barnes leaves it for Hall. Hall with 2 around him, and as he went up, Stevens got a body on him. That's going to be a foul.
Well, we're seeing the Aztecs do what they did to start the game, which was pick up the pressure. Now, there are going to be times when you pick up too quickly and there's not somebody back, and yes, that's what's going to happen. You're going to get an open look at the basket. But I like them picking up the pressure, doing what they did to start the game, which is really force the tempo. I think San Diego State can play faster than Bakersfield, and they can play faster and under more control than Bakersfield, so I like what they're doing on defense.
Bakersfield to the free throw line for the second time, make it the first time here in the second half. Only been there 5 times. And we've just been handed this note that Xavier Thames has left the game with a lower back strain and likely will not return. He played 12 minutes in that first half, scored 6 points.
You've got to hope that's not a significant injury with conference play starting up next week. You're going to need all your bodies, especially with the talent they have. You're going to need all your bodies because, like we said, this is a Mountain West Conference that is very strong this year. And as time goes on, guys get worn down. Guys aren't playing well. You need those guys on the court.
And it starts a week from tonight at Fresno, so hopefully he'll leave the floor as a precaution. And Shepherd took an extra step, a travel and a turnover for Winston. Let's go back and revisit Thames. And he has the ball here. This is from earlier. You see anything that might show lower back strain?
You know, with lower backs, it's interesting because it's rarely that you fall on it and actually hurt yourself. That would be, the muscles are just so finicky in your back, you never know what it is. I mean, it's a strain, almost like tearing your Achilles. What did he really do? So you hope it's just a minor tweak, a small strain, and he'll be back in action next week.
Winston Shepherd just got whistled for his first. Yeah, it looked like at the end of that replay as Carter goes up and scores that he was motioning toward the bench with one of his hands like, get me out of here. And of course, Jamal Franklin had to sit out the Point Loma game with a bad lower back. Speaking of Franklin, long range 3, no good. Stevens runs it down in the corner and they'll reset. Tapley to Shepherd. Nice pass to Franklin and 1.
There it is. You combine the size of Shepherd and the passing ability, and gosh, what a weapon. What a weapon. And this is all created, again, it's the rebound. It's the offensive rebound that created this play, and then the good pass and the finish with the guy with the long sleeves. I still don't understand how that's okay.
15 and 9, make it 16 and 9 for Franklin as he converts the free throw. Perfect 7 for 7. Remember, he wasn't happy with that miss late in the Arizona game. Came back, got off the airplane, came right to the gym, shot 100 free throws.
Been there.
Didn't go home. Steve Fisher gave the team 4 days off. He didn't go home. He stayed around, worked on his free throws. Here's Young in the post.
And you talk about, you hear stories like that. You hear stories, oh, guy came back. Kobe does that. He comes back in the gym. It's not just the fact that he's improving his free throws. He's showing his team that he means business. He shows his team that he will be the leader moving forward into this conference play.
15:36 to go in the basketball game. San Diego State getting awfully close to a 20-point lead.
It's been a big year at Chrysler, and a year this big deserves a big finish.
Hurry, the year's best deals are here today, gone January 2nd. Now get 0% financing for 72 months or $3,000 cash allowance on the 2013 200 sedan.
Every moment is a chance to unite. Every moment is a chance to defy. Every moment is a chance to succeed.
In our city, the love we have for our teams goes beyond the game, and only one show will take you there every night.
We will have cameras and microphones where they rarely go.
With exclusive interviews.
It's tough to match myself in any other uniform but the purple and gold.
Asking the questions you need to know.
You still didn't tell me where you're going to be on the court.
Join the team that knows your team best. Access Sportsnet, tonight at 10 on Time Warner Cable Sportsnet.
Well, after Arizona held him to just 9 points, you knew that Jamal Franklin couldn't wait 7.5 days to get back on the court. And tonight he's taken out his frustration on the Roadrunners. 16 points, 10 rebounds, his 6th double-double this year, the 19th of his career.
Yeah, and you talk about, we just went out, we were talking about leadership. And you got two guys in Tapley and Franklin who are stars. They're stars in any conference, on any team. And to see him doing all that he's doing on the offensive end, on the glass, on the defensive end, I mean, that's what's going to take this team to the next level, which next level is NCAA tournament, Sweet 16, Elite 8, and become a potential Final Four team.
Here's Barnes launching from the wing left side. Got another miss for Bakersfield. They're shooting now under 30%. Here's Tapley, a 3. And a rebound for Adam Young. Carter with Franklin guarding him. Carter's a senior, likely to leave as the all-time leading scorer in Bakersfield history.
He is, and I think you're starting to see Bakersfield really get worn down. They're not getting into the sets. They're not forcing the issue on offense. They're not getting in position to even set screens. And I think it's making it easier for San Diego State on the defensive end, where it just becomes a one-on-one game with 5 to 10 seconds left on the shot clock.
Yeah, 3 guys they expected to play are not playing as Carter launches and misses. Matthew Ratto, who averages 2 a game, Zach Lamb, who averages 5, and Mo Hewley, who averages 3. He ruptured a patella tendon. So that's 3 bodies they thought would be here a couple of days ago that aren't.
It's not just the bodies, though. I mean, I think you really got to maintain your discipline when you're playing against a team as good as San Diego State. I mean, really, if your game plan is to execute, you have to stick with it. And you have to execute. You have to get in position and set screens. You've got to do everything right if you want to keep this thing a game.
Franklin taking a seat on the bench. He'll be spelled by Dwayne Poley Jr. Wholesale changes too. Skylar Spencer in. James Rahan as well. Shepherd now working the point with Thames out because of the lower back strain. Tapley got his own offensive rebound of the putback. Tapley is 14.
You know, as we talk about Bakersfield not executing, you see San Diego State executing very well on the offensive end, really being disciplined and patient.
Carter talked about how he likes to attack the basket. Did there for a bucket.
You know, he's one of those guys. He's almost like an undersized 4-man. He's like a Charles Barkley. Attack the glass, go strong, be hard.
He now has 7 after having 2 in the first half. Poley buries the jumper. Not an easy one to hit. The lead now is 20 at 47-27.
You look at a guy like Carter, though, with the body, with the aggressiveness going to the basket. If you develop the mid-range game, if you develop a jump shot, how good he could be.
Here's Williams, the walk-on. Javante Maynard leaves it for Carter, again attacking the basket with the left hand and a nice move.
There he is, and really it was all generated by the drive and kick. The thing is, you've got to remember your scouting report on Carter. He's not going to shoot the ball, and if he does, he doesn't shoot the ball well. So you cannot allow him to drive to the basket.
Tapley in the corner. That hit the top of the basket. Top of the backboard. Under 13 to go. And Carter trying to draw a foul on Tapley. And in fact, Tapley with the infraction.
You got to think Coach Barnes is getting a little frustrated with his guys. They're really not executing at all. I mean, I understand they're attacking the basket, but the only thing they're getting is Carter going to the basket. Everything else, you've got 4 guys standing around. You've got to get in and execute if you want to keep this thing close.
Here's a quick shot off the inbound, and that's the coach's kid, Brandon Barnes, out of Atlanta by way of Lipscomb University.
See, I told you, right? You got to execute.
And they have done so. Here's Spencer. Played well against Arizona. He was 3 for 3 from the floor against the Wildcats. And Spencer with 2 more. Give him 4.
Well, he's a guy who needs to see more time, get more comfort on the floor. Another guy that can play with his back to the basket, and you hope to see more of that from San Diego because the Mountain West, not really a big conference, but with their length and athleticism, they can dominate. You get one or two guys down low that could be very difficult to contend with.
Hall put it on the floor, put it up, missed, got his own offensive rebound, and a wild shot. Wow.
I don't even know what to say.
I wanted to hit him with a stun gun.
You know what, though?
Control him.
It's the effort. The effort. You got to give him credit for the effort. I have no idea how the ball went in, but you got to give him credit for the effort.
You know what he looked like? He looked like the wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man there.
What is this, a used car lot?
That's right. We'll have to go to Al Harrington's wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube emporium. See if we can find a Hall replica. Hall gets it done. 49-33 Aztecs.
Dream as one. Prepare as one. Work as one. Focus as one. Play as one.
Are you stressed because of the cost of high copays, medications not covered by your insurance plan, or falling into the Medicare Part D donut hole? Then I have great news. Medicare.com is now offering a free pharmacy discount card. Now you can get huge savings on generic and brand name drugs with Medicare.com, a name you can trust. You just call the number on your screen or click right now and they'll take care of everything. Instantly, you can save at over 63,000 pharmacies. Medicare.com will even show you how to get your prescription drugs at no cost if you qualify. Call or sign up at Medicare.com today for your free card and learn all the ways Medicare.com can help you save on supplemental insurance, diabetic and CPAP supplies, discount dental programs, even walk-in tubs and hearing aids. Remember, joining is absolutely free and it won't affect any of your current coverage. So protect yourself from sky-high prescription costs and start taking advantage of all that you deserve. Go straight to the source, Medicare.com.
Call 800-503-0915. That's 800-503-0915 from Medicare.com.
The Aztec lead is 16. That's an interesting sign. I saw a tweet today, and I'm sure this guy who made the sign saw the same one. UCLA transfer Tyler Lammy tweeted, "Making my way to SDSU today should be fun." The junior shooting guard. And here's a list of prior San Diego State transfers who right now are on the active roster for Steve Fisher.
You look at that. The Pac-12, the ACC, the Big East. I mean, they're not exactly coming from small schools. And the thing is, what are they doing so well here? Obviously, it's San Diego. It's a great environment. I mean, this arena is a great, great environment. But I think Steve Fisher has become known as a coach that lets his guys play. Like we said earlier, he teaches in practices. There's accountability. You're going to work hard. But when it comes to the game, when it comes to the test, he lets you go. He lets you thrive. And I think that's what players want. They want to be in an environment where they can thrive.
Carter got it rejected by Spencer. Shepherd back the other way, driving in and one. Well, we got the Shepherd, now we need the Lamb.
I was waiting for that. I couldn't remember how the sign went. It's all created, too, by good defense. I mean, obviously, Carter, once again, all he's going to do is attack, so they're flooding the basket. And then the athleticism, the body control of Shepherd. He's not the guy that's going to pull up for a jumper, but he can attack. With that size, with that length, that's hard to stop.
He had 3 blocks against Arizona. Team leading 20 blocks now after that one. Shepherd to the free throw line for 1. And back to Lamb. He's a junior shooting guard. Left UCLA after 1 game this year. Started 32 games for UCLA as a sophomore. Left after 1 game this season because he had off-season surgery. Haven't seen him yet. I've been looking in the building for him. Told he's here with his mom.
Now, he would be a great addition to this team. Another athletic guy. Not only that, he knows defense. Playing for Ben Howland, that's one thing you will know. You know how to play defense. He plays hard. He can cover any guy on the floor. He'd be a great addition, and he shoots the ball very well.
Now, the thing is, can he get a medical redshirt? If he were to come here, he'd only have 1 year left, and he'd be eligible at the mid-semester break. And O'Brien got fouled as he went in. And even if someone were to leave off the roster here this year, that money's already been committed to the players here. So if he comes in and enrolls at the end of January, say the Aztecs land him and want him, then he's got to come on his own dime here to conclude the rest of the spring 2013 semester.
Yeah, and clearly that's got to weigh into a decision. I mean, but I think ultimately the red shirt is the big issue for these guys. You're not coming here to sit.
Right.
You want to come here to play because it's not only what you're doing here at this level, it's setting yourself up for the next level. You come to a program like this, you play for a coach like this, that can get you ready for the next level. And clearly Steve Fisher has done that time and time again with a number of players throughout his career.
Well, after playing in just one game and having the swelling at UCLA, you'd like to see the kid getting medical red shirt so he'd have 2 years left, could replay that junior year in its entirety and the senior year. Not sure if he'd get it or not.
Because who knows who really makes those decisions.
That's right. There's scholarship money for next year, just not for the spring semester, and a rare Roadrunners turnover here in the game.
I mean, you look at some of the transfers coming out of UCLA. I mean, there's
Josh Smith left the same week.
I mean, even you look at UNLV and Mike Moser. I mean, there's a lot of talent coming out.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know that's you know, where you were a transfer from Penn State to UCLA.
From Penn State to UCLA, finished up my career at UCLA. Wasn't the best of times at UCLA. We had a couple rough years.
There's that kid at BYU, too, who was a scorer.
Yeah, you're right. An old Mountain West team.
Spencer lost it. Coley with the steal. Oh, a good one. Rayon has it back. Coley leaves it for Spencer. And Spencer lost it out of bounds, but it was last touched by Javante Maynard. 10:01 to go on the game clock, 29 to go on the shot clock.
It's a great pass. You got to know who you're throwing to, though. Big guys love bounce passes. They like to see it into their chest. Got to give him a better pass he can handle.
Spencer visiting some folks in the front row there. And a foul is going to be called on Hall. That's going to be the third on Corey Hall. Maynard comes out of the ball game. Young back in.
Hey, talk about Maynard. We talked so much about him off the tip here. And clearly Steve Fisher was concerned with him. That's a guy who can really control the game with his three-point shooting. They have not let him get a look. This second half, I don't know if he's taken more than one shot.
Here's Shepard, 18 to shoot. Rayhan's got to try and find a rhythm. Step back jumper is good.
You know, we see guys create like that. They make such nice moves, a little step back jumper. We forget that these are guys that scored 1,500, 2,000 points in high school. They sure can do that. They just usually don't have the freedom. It's always the end of the shot clock where you see what a guy's capable of doing.
There's a foul before that block by Poli as the Aztecs enjoy their biggest lead of the ball game now of 22.
You know, clearly it was a foul, but we missed the block. And what I'd like to talk about is the fact that this is a San Diego State team. They're not very big. They're not very long, but they get to the ball so quickly. And that's what allows them to block so many shots. Their athleticism and their length. They get to the ball so quickly that they can block more shots than even a team with a bunch of 7-footers. And even their guards. When you look at Jamal Franklin, the guy flies all over the court. He's long, he's lengthy, he's athletic, and he has a great knack for getting to the ball.
They are second in the Mountain West Conference in blocks with 5.1 a game. That foul was called on Spencer. That's his second. And a mess of changes now for the Aztecs. James Johnson back in. Tapley also in. Jamal Franklin will come back in with 9:17 to go. Franklin's been terrific. 16 points, 11 rebounds for his 19th career double-double and his 6th of the season.
You see with Xavier Thames out of the game, O'Brien bringing the ball up court. Just another great, I wouldn't even call it weapon. It's almost like a utility player that you know you can throw out on the court and say, hey, I need you to play the point guard's position right now. You can bring it up.
Barnes just got called for that reach-in foul as Johnson, the big fella, put it on the floor and drove the lane.
You like to see that from a guy. He doesn't get a ton of time, but you want to see him be aggressive. Not only do you want to see him be aggressive to gain confidence, you want to see what he's really capable of doing going into conference play. I mean, because ultimately coaches play guys based on trust. Do I trust this guy to do what I need him to do? What role does he play? What spot does he fill for my team? I want to see what he's capable of doing. I want to see how much I can trust him on the floor.
Deshaun Stevens got hammered as he went up after the Johnson foul. Well, Johnson playing in his 5th consecutive game after becoming eligible when the grades were finally posted. Saw only 7 minutes of time over 3 games in Hawaii. But 12 minutes against Point Loma to get his feet wet. That's why they put the game on the calendar there. Young will spell Omegon.
You see Bakersfield starting to give up too many offensive rebounds, coming back with Young. Got to control the defensive glass.
The Aztecs well on their way to a 31st consecutive game and 31st consecutive win over a team from California. And they'll get another crack at it a week from tonight, the Mountain West Conference opener against Fresno State. Johnson lost it. Here's Carter. He attacks the basket. A nice move there. Carter has 2 more to get him into double figures. He matches Hall for the team lead at 12.
Carter really is that good going to the basket. You can't take anything away from that.
Barnes with a slam. And a quick timeout called by San Diego State. The lead is 20 with 8:29 to go. Steve Fisher going to just settle down the troops as he spends the timeout.
It's a good timeout. I mean, you look at what they've been able to do defensively, keeping them to 38 points. That's what's controlling this game.
8:29 to go in the ball game. The Aztecs with a 20-point advantage as the Roadrunners try and get back in it.
All I can say is 11 offering 30 or better is impressive.
But what about 4 that offer 40 or more?
That's good, too.
Hey, guys, what's the debate?
I think Chevy's having 11 models that offer an EPA estimated 30 mpg highway or better is a big deal.
Whereas I would say Chevy's 4 models offering an EPA estimated 40 mpg highway or better is even bigger.
Sounds great. So where are they?
Where aren't they? Malibu?
Cruise?
Camaro?
Sonic?
Equinox?
Visit your local Chevy dealer today.
Oh my God, is that what I think it is?
You really believe this story? I mean, Osama bin Laden?
If you're right, the whole world's gonna weigh in on this.
We will never find him. He is one of the disappeared ones.
Zero Dark 30. Rated R. Now in select cities everywhere January 11th.
Yeah. Salad on Saturday, fruit on Friday, throw a ball Thursday. Water Wednesday, touch your toes Tuesday. Let's move Monday, swap us next Sunday.
60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. So keep them active and eating well every day. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
Aztecs roll, and they get a 20-point lead with 8:29 to go in regulation. We were talking about the 16 Mountain West Conference games this year, and it's starting a week from tonight at Fresno State. Well, 6 of those 16 games can be seen right here on Time Warner Cable Sportsnet. And John Crispin and I will be at Fresno for an 8:30 start next Wednesday night to get things started. And you get to go to Laramie.
Laramie, that's right. Wyoming. I hear it's the place to be.
They have a wonderful Applebee's.
You can get a 2 for 20 deal there.
And
right
a
now.
wonderful
all over that.
And they're 13-0, by the way.
Yes.
One of 4 undefeated teams in the country.
Don't let the brown unis fool you. There's something about brown uniforms, though, that just says slow. Slow.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look quick.
Always a tough place to play up there at altitude.
Altitude and you think environment. I mean, a team like San Diego State that's used to playing here. I mean, this is a great. You think about the students are not even in session right now.
Right.
And this is still a great environment. It's loud. It's exciting. They're into the game.